WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. There are continuing conversations about who's getting locked up and for how long. The Corrections and Criminal Justice Oversight Task Force has been meeting for the last 6 years now. They aren't the ones with the power to make changes, but they are the ones asking lawmakers to keep the reforms from 2014 in focus. Courtney Ann Jackson has a recap of today's meeting.
These task force meetings aren't typically this well attended. We don't want to give up. But because their work involves corrections and criminal justice, they're under a new kind of microscope.
It's very emotional, and I think about this every day. My brother calls every day.
This group is charged with delivering recommendations to the legislature each year to keep the state on track with the goals of House Bill 585 that was signed into law in 2014. This year's proposed recommendations include continued investment in workforce training and other reentry and recidivism reduction programs.
More people are going back in on a revocation that are going in originally. Then we're failing those people we're putting on probation. We're failing those people who are on post-release supervision when they come out by not giving them the tools they need to be able to be successful outside the prison facility.
It's a worry that family members share. What happens if and when they are released?
Nobody wants to deal with them when they get out and their mind is messed up from being treated like animals and whatnot while they're incarcerated.
The task force is suggesting items that would both change who's being locked up and for how long. Some advocates say they're on board with those changes.
I just want you all to know we are here to be an ally, but we're going to put pressure on the legislator and anybody who don't want to see a change coming.
Others wanted to ensure their voices were heard despite the task force telling them they too were only making recommendations for laws to be changed.
This has to go beyond emotions. This has to stop.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
Task force members say they do believe the criminal justice reforms are working, but some say it's frustrating that the legislature has not yet reinvested the savings back into the system. A postal worker is in the hospital and a man is behind bars after a shooting in Atala County. Today, U.S. Postal Inspector Tony Robinson confirms 28-year-old Roland Dampier has been arrested. Dampier appeared in federal court in Oxford today. A postal worker was hospitalized after being shot in the head while delivering mail on Highway 35. Investigators say before the shooting, Dampier attempted to pull people over as they were driving. At least one other person was reportedly shot at. Dampier is also accused of trying to kidnap an employee at a Kosciuszko grocery store before allegedly shooting the postal worker. Dampier was shot by a state trooper and taken into custody. The identity and condition of the victim is not known at this time. A murder mystery tonight in Alcorn County. Investigators are still searching for a man they believed was murdered back in October. Investigators say new information leads them to believe Jeffrey Moore's body, the man you see here, was taken from the original crime scene and hasn't been found. Now, a twist of events in the case. Alcorn County investigators say the person of interest in Moore's possible murder was found murdered about a week later. 2 women have been arrested in connection to that investigation. If you have any information regarding Jeffrey Moore, you're urged to call Crime Stoppers. That number, 1-800-773-TIPS. 2 people are dead in apparent murder-suicide in Boonville. Police Chief Michael Ramey says this happened around 11:44 this morning at a home on South Lake Street. The chief tells WCBI 1 person was found in the home and the other outside. Investigators are still trying to piece together what happened, but did recover a shotgun. Right now, the names of the victims are not being released.
We've got a couple of sprinkles out there. Otherwise, everybody is mostly cloudy. What we're keeping our eye on, though, is this system back off to the west. That's going to bring us our chance for some rain and maybe a rumble of thunder or 2 through the day tomorrow. But as soon as we get this out of here, we will have a nice little break from the rainfall. We definitely need that from all the onslaught of rain we've had for the last week or 2. Overnight tonight, can rule out a sprinkle or 2 in some spots, generally lows in the upper 40s to low 50s in many spots. Some folks might seek down into the mid 40s, but generally we'll be right around there. Tomorrow, highs in the mid 60s, our last warm day for a while, so enjoy it while you can. Showers, maybe a rumble of thunder and breezy winds. I'll break down that full forecast for you coming up in just a little bit. Scott.
All right, Trevor, thanks so much. Well, it may not seem like it now, but it is about to get cold, as Trevor just said, here in North Mississippi. Temperatures are expected to dip down into the teens. That's prompting groups in Columbus to team up to ensure those in the homeless community have a warm place to go. Our Quentin Smith joins us live in the studio with more.
That's right, Scott. The Scout Hut by the Farmers Market here in Columbus is getting a temporary assignment. The City of Columbus, Loaves and Fishes, Community Outreach, and the GTR Homeless Coalition are all teaming up to open the warming shelter. Organizers say this serves as a temporary solution to help get people off of the streets during these extreme temperatures. One by one, Glenda Richardson and Reverend Sandra DePriest are getting cots ready and putting everything in place for the opening of this warming shelter.
We're going to open tomorrow night at 5 p.m. and we will be open as long as the weather is 32 and below.
I have people who have already told me that they have no place to go to get out of the weather, and we've had people sleeping in cars, Walmart, McDonald's, that sort of thing. So we want to see if we can provide them a warm and comfortable place to sleep for these cold snaps.
DePriest says it's disheartening for her to know that some people won't have a warm place to lay their heads in these frigid temperatures.
It breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart. And we want to do something.
That's why she felt compelled to help open this shelter. DePriest says it can accommodate around 40 people.
By all means, what we want to do is we want to show kindness and compassion for those who may be in a situation where they need a warm place to sleep.
Those who stay will also receive a free meal.
It's strictly for the people who are staying in the shelter, who are homeless or don't have heat at their homes. That's what the meals will be for: dinner at night and breakfast in the morning.
Homelessness is everywhere, including in the friendly city.
People are homeless at different times and for different reasons. So one day we may have 20, the next day we may have 1. So it's just different times for them.
Organizers believe opening the shelter is a kind gesture showing those in need that people really care about them and helping them find a place to stay.
It takes the whole community to come together to rectify this problem, and we just hope our citizens will appreciate what we're doing.
Now, Richardson says they're still in need of donations and volunteers. They're asking for things such as pillows, blankets, food, and just anything that will help those in need this weekend. If you would like to donate or volunteer, just visit our website at WCBI.com. Scott?
All right, Quentin, thanks so much. It's just what folks in Oktibbeha County have been wanting to hear. The pumps have arrived. An Alabama company brought the equipment in around 4:30 this afternoon. The pumping began earlier tonight. Now, the goal is to lower the water level 5 feet, which could possibly put the dam out of the danger zone from failing. A voluntary evacuation is still in place. A Red Cross shelter is open at First Baptist Church Outreach Center in Starkville. The Oktibbeha County Humane Society will also board pets for any evacuees. Even with the pumps in place, residents are still nervous, and many are making plans in case the worst happens. Our Bobby Martinez speaks with one woman who says it's a nightmare she's been facing since Tuesday.
Stay ready, stay vigilant.
That's what Oktibbeha County Supervisor Marvel Howard keeps telling himself and his neighbors near Oktibbeha County Lake. Howard and other county officials have been watching mudslides on the side of the lake's dam, which is also a main road to some homes. Right now, the area is roped off with caution tape, and there's been some cautionary good news.
At this moment, the water level has dropped in about 2 feet, maybe a little bit more since this all began.
What started as an impromptu search of the lake took a turn for the worse when engineers say they found the slides. Since then, large tubes have been pumping out water from the lake to lower the water level. And with the rain in the weekend forecast, that can make the situation worse. Alberta Turner is ready should the water start to rise.
I probably could stay with my grandson a while till things get better. But I'm praying and hoping that it'll go to be the other way around. At least I hope so. This is the first time we had ever had this to happen.
As the weekend approaches, Howard says crews will monitor the slides around the clock to make sure the situation doesn't get worse.
Our plans hadn't changed as far as trying to notify people, if it's time to move. Other than that, just be patient. Make sure you're getting your information from an official source.
Oktibbeha County EMA says that County Lake Road will be closed while pumps are running to get water out of the lake. All right, we're going to send things over to meteorologist Trevor Burchett. And Trevor, unfortunately, there's still more rain in the forecast.
Yeah, there's definitely one more round of rain we've got to get through. Luckily, it's not going to be too heavy, so I don't think it's going to impact our flooding plans too much, but you might want to stay in bed just like Zelda all day tomorrow. Unfortunately, I've got to be at work, but if you're lucky enough that you're off, it's going to be one of those days you're going to be cuddled up in bed all day, maybe with some Netflix, enjoying the rain on your window. After that, cold air moves in. I've got the forecast right after this. Stay with us.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
We've been fairly warm for the last few days. As a matter of fact, out and about today, I saw a few folks wearing shorts. Hopefully they can enjoy that tomorrow while they can. That's going to be our last warm day for a while. Highs in the 60s, but after that, cold front's going to come through, knock us down into the 40s, maybe some upper 30s by next week, and overnight lows are going to be in the 20s and teens. So Old Man Winter, he's coming back, but we've got to get through a little bit of rainfall first. We'll talk all about that coming up in just a little bit. We'll start out with a look outside at the Lowndes County Courthouse here in downtown Columbus from the Alpha Insurance Camera Network. 61 right now in downtown, so it's still pretty mild out there. Notice these winds, 14 miles an hour, and if you look carefully enough, you can see the camera kind of bobbing up and down just a little bit. So it is a little breezy out there, gusts up to 30 miles an hour at times. So keep that in mind, and those winds are going to continue to pick up overnight tonight and into tomorrow. Right now, clouds continue to filter in over the area. We've had a couple of sprinkles in the last couple of hours, but generally, everybody is dry right now. Just a couple of sprinkles coming through Union County, southern Tippah County, but we will see an increase in shower activity in the overnight hours. So we'll keep a chance for some light showers in overnight tonight. Lows basically right around that 50-degree mark, but notice those winds continuing to gust out of the south at 25 to 30 miles an hour. Now, tomorrow we're going to take things hour by hour. Notice by 9 a.m. we've already got some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder setting up in the Golden Triangle. We're not expecting any severe weather out of this, but you could get a quick downpour, maybe a little bit of thunder or some gusty winds, but really we're not too worried about this batch of weather coming through. By noon, maybe a quick lull, but notice we've got some more stuff back off to our west that we're going to have to deal with. That comes through the Golden Triangle by 2 or 3, so another round of showers, maybe some storms. That cold front kicks on out of here by 6 o'clock, though. I think most of us are dry by sunset, but that colder air is going to start to filter in. Behind that cold front, high pressure sets in. We're down into the 20s in some spots by Sunday morning. And once you factor in the wind chill, could be even colder than that. And as I mentioned, temperatures are going to be down into the 40s for early next week. We do start to ramp up by the end of the week. But for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, especially Tuesday morning, we're going to have to deal with some pretty low wind chills. So waking up Monday morning, it's going to feel like the teens in many spots, even colder for Tuesday. As you wake up on Tuesday with those winds gusting out of the north, it's going to feel like the teens and single digits. So get those winter coats ready. I know they're probably in the back of the closet, racking up a little dust by now, but you'll need to get them out for the coming week. Now, on the 7-day forecast, you'll notice that in the next couple of days, we're going to stay pretty sunny, temperatures in the 40s, but we are going to see gradual warming through the end of the week. Clouds do increase for Wednesday and Thursday. More chances for some showers and storms by Friday with highs in the low 60s. So, Scott, take your pick. You've basically got any weather you want in that 7-day forecast.
Hey, but at least that sun is going to shine a little bit.
Yeah, we need that,
week.
Especially those folks dealing with flooding. They need a little break.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks, Trevor. Well, federal law enforcement is tracking an increased number of threats of violence. We have an update on the latest arrests when we come back.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 with Scott Martin.
Welcome back, everyone. Tonight, more arrests as the FBI cracks down on white supremacist groups ahead of a planned gun rally in Virginia. Today, 3 suspected members of a neo-Nazi group were arrested in Georgia today. CBS's Jeff Pegues has more on the alleged murder plot.
Police say the 3 men arrested in Georgia had trained at a camp for the white supremacist group known as the Base in the northwest part of the state. One of the men, Luke Lane, is charged with conspiracy to murder 2 members of the left-wing group Antifa. Jay Tabb is with the FBI.
We would categorize them as racially motivated violent extremists. They are a neo-Nazi group that believe in white ethnicity and power and have called for a white ethno-state in the United States.
These arrests follow the capture of 3 other members of the Base yesterday in Maryland. Law enforcement sources say members of the group had talked about sparking violence at Monday's gun rights rally in Richmond. That prompted the FBI to disrupt white supremacist groups before they could travel to the state capitol. Here in Richmond, increased security measures are being put in place amid the growing threat of violence, including the possible use of weaponized drones. Orrin Siegel is with the Anti-Defamation League, which has been tracking the threats.
For white supremacists and racists who believe that a race war has to start now, they're trying to leverage this moment. And so they are recommending that people show up to start a battle.
Late in the day, police made another arrest connected to that group, The Base. A man in Wisconsin was taken into custody for allegedly vandalizing a synagogue, and so agents will be on high alert through the weekend. Meanwhile, the president weighed in on Monday's rally. He says that the Second Amendment is under attack and that Democrats are to blame. Jeff Begays, CBS News, Richmond, Virginia.
The Lowndes County rivalry between Columbus and New Hope heats up on the basketball court. Highlights from around the area coming up next in sports.
Here's sports with Tom Ebel.
Lane Kiffin puts the finishing touches on his coaching staff at Ole Miss. Big night for Kiffin as 3 hirings are on their way to Oxford. Ole Miss making the hires of Derek Nix and Freddie Roach official. Nix returning to Ole Miss to coach wide receivers. Roach remaining in Oxford after the New York Giants made a strong push for him. The big news of the night, multiple reports saying former Mississippi State defensive backs coach Terrell Buckley will join Lane Kiffin in Oxford. Buckley trading sides in the Egg Bowl after 4 years in Starkville. The New Hope Columbus rivalry back to competing for division crowns. Girls up first. Columbus leading. New Hope breaks the press. Look at the 3 from Reed McLaughlin. Pull up, nothing but net. But the night belonged to the Lady Falcons. Anaya Sadler, WCBI Athlete of the Week. Sweet dish inside to Charity Yates for 2. And Columbus's defense leading to more offense. Mashanti Sadler. Let a block there, but let's let this one draw out. Sadler gets the rebound, so Columbus is pushing. Ball gets up the floor. Look at the trailer. Sadler dumping it inside to her. Battling inside, gets her own miss, and 1 bucket. That's the way you play both sides of the ball. Columbus dominates 62-17. Running it back with the boys. Falcons, Trojans square off undefeateds in division. R.L. Maddox gets the game going. Step back J is money from mid-range. New Hope with the early lead, but Columbus battling back. Check out the reverse layup from Blake Burnett. Switches hands off the window for 2. Falcons with the lead after 1. Second quarter, Ethan Connor with the steal. Heads up dish to get Columbus out in transition. It's Burnett again. Finishes in transition for the bucket. But then New Hope's offense comes alive final 5 minutes of the half. Caleb Parr, don't do it to him like that. Drains the 3 with a hand in his face. Lets the crowd know about it. And then defense turning to offense quick. Quick hands in the paint. LJ Hackman outlet to Asia Brownlee finishes with the layup. One of the best basketball atmospheres I've seen of the year. New Hope defends home court with the 65-55 win. Caledonia hosting Pontotoc. Friday night hoops, division action. Second quarter, Sloan Sansing in the corner for 3. Tickles the twine. Warriors up big. Second half, Caledonia still battling. Lathan, ooh, nice grown lady basketball there, bullying her way to the bucket. Pontotoc still leading here, fourth quarter. Lady Warriors adding on. Molly Sansing pulls up to the mid-range. Jay gets it to go. Warriors, well, they'd be up big. Lathan still battling. Nice battle to the hoop for the N1 bucket, but Warriors get the win 64-28. And we go to the boys' side. Top of the leaderboard again in the division. Feds, Warriors, first quarter. Martin with the feed inside to Beasley. Misses the shot, gets his own board, and gets the putback to go. So it's a tie ball game early on. A few plays later for Pontotoc. Rock Robinson ready for the rock from downtown. Gets the tray to go. Pontotoc with the lead. Second quarter tie ball game yet again. Martin with the spin move in transition. My goodness. Feds take the lead. Back and forth we go. Caledonia feeling themselves now. Lee off the fast break. Left hand layup. So Feds up by 7, but Pontotoc battling back. Dejarius Scott layup inside for 2. Pontotoc gets the close win, 54-53. In Saltillo, the Lady Tigers taking on Center Hill, another matchup at the top of the division board. Off the miss 3, Tierney Bolton finds Candace Buford for 2. Saltillo up big though. Tigers ball here. Aaron Wigington drives, knocks down the pull-up mid-range J. Saltillo takes care of business, 54-21. And a big-time boys matchup. Tigers taking on Center Hill. Saltillo trying to take the lead in the division outright. Nice feed inside. Nice finish as well. That's DeCorian Payton on the finish. Tigers down 10. EJ Fisk drives inside. Nice bucket inside for Saltillo. Not a situation they didn't face too often. Center Hill defeats the Tigers 57-49. Saltillo's only their second loss of the year. So it'll be interesting to see what happens later on in the year as they play again.
Definitely. All right, thanks, Tom. We'll have a last look at your forecast when we come back.
Rain showers through the day tomorrow. Can't rule out a rumble of thunder, but after that, the big talking point is going to be this cold air rushing in. Sunny for the next 3 days, which is exactly what we need, but highs only in the 40s with overnight lows as low as the upper teens on Tuesday morning. More chances for showers and storms. Return to the forecast next Friday.
Gosh, when's the last time we saw the teens?
It's been a while. Get those winter coats ready.
Lord, all right. Thanks, Trevor. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.